and talk about just how I built it and why I built it and how it works. So first thing to let everyone know is this this deck is called the Acorn Warp Gate, basically, or Acorn Warp. And because it heavily features Arena Regular and War Machinist, I'm calling it Irregular Machinist Acorn Warp Gate, which is probably one of the longest names for a deck I've ever had. Anyway, so that's kind of the thematic for it. So as I've been playing set 5, I realized Dreadlings combo with a lot of things. In fact, I've identified 8 different things Dreadlings combo with, which is pretty crazy. There might actually be more than 8 different things, but it combos with Assault, it combos with Artifacts, combos with anything that pumps Spiders, Shrimpkins, or Robots. It combos with 1-cost things, like if you're playing some kind of a Monk Manatee deck, and there's 2 other things: Set Assault, Scrounge, and Sacrifice triggers. Well, those are the 6 things Dreadlings combo with that I've found out so far. So this deck just tries to kind of combine Dreadling tech with a bunch of other cool things. So the 2 other things that Dreadlings are going to combo with in this deck are mainly artifact related, and that will be comboing with the Vilefang Eremite because they're spiders, and then comboing with artifacts through Warp Steel Widget and War Machinist. And when I say combo, I mean like the more spiderlings that or dreadlings that we play each turn, the more advantage we'll generate by the other cards we have in play. So our War Machinist will be able to do 1 damage to the opposing champion and an opposing target troop we choose for each artifact we play. And then Warp Steel Widget will get a Warp Steel counter on it for each artifact we play. And I say play, but it's really for each artifact that enters play. So it doesn't matter whether or not we're playing the card from our hand, just as long as the card is coming into play in some fashion. So the cool thing about Warp Steel Widget is it has this awesome equipment, which is called the Wind Up Widget, that says, instead than just exhausting your Warp Steel Widget and creating an artifact based on the counters, if you have 3 or more counters on your Warp Steel Widget and then you transform it, create another Warp Steel Widget and put it into play. So you can just perpetually create new artifacts every time you're transforming your Warp Steel Widget into a new artifact. So that also combos with the deck because we're making more and more and more artifacts. So that's a really, really cool equipment. It's kind of like the focal piece for the deck, but we have a lot of other moving parts that make the deck like kind of cohesively great. So Warp Steel Widget, we're also playing Underworld Decree. Again, it's featured in my deck, but I'm also running this equipment called the Proclamation Guardian that says when it enters play, I create a random Underworld troop and I put it into my hand. So it can be anything, and we are playing Blood and Ruby, so those are already 2 pretty primary Underworld threshold colors. But because we also have access to Wild and Sapphire, that pretty much helps us achieve any Underworld troop as playable for the most part. I mean, there might be something that's 2 or 3 threshold that we're not going to be able to play initially until we draw like another Underworld Decree, like say it's 2 Sapphire threshold, like earlier I got Arachnomancer and I couldn't play it because it was double Sapphire and I only had played that 1 Underworld Decree. Anyway, so that's a pretty cool little ability as well. Also, Underworld Decree is an artifact, and it allows us to sacrifice it to create 2 Dreadlings, so that's 3 artifacts for the price of 1, and fixing, so very good. We also are playing Sealed Tome as like kind of a secret tech for the deck. It has the Tombskin hands that say, if you are a cleric, which conveniently Bloodspinner Zorath is, if you are a cleric, put any buried troops into your hand. So you're going to bury the top card of their deck. If it's a troop, we lose 3 health, but also that troop will just go into our hand. So yes, we may lose some health, but we're going to get to draw a card from our deck and then potentially put the card from their deck into our hand. So that's actually pretty cool. We have a little bit of healing in our deck, and Zorath starts with 22 health, so we're not too worried about that effect killing us. But it's something to be mindful of maybe later in the game. But it's also an artifact, so we're getting the benefit from the artifact as well. Okay, so some of the other things going on. We're only playing 20 shards, but we have a pretty low curve. Our curve really only has 4 3-drops, and then it really only has 12 2-drops, but only really 8 of those 2-drops are super important to the deck, which are the Botanists and the Arena Regulars. And all the rest of the cards are 1 or less. So 20 shards, but 4 Acorns that will cycle into shards. And then we are playing a War Machinist of the Chest equipment that'll allow us to deal 1 damage to target opposing troop every time we play an artifact. And he'll also deal 1 damage to opposing champion every time we play an artifact. Then we have an Arena Regular with Helm Equipment. The Helm Equipment's when we use a charge power, will also deal 2 damage to opposing champion. And on top of his normal ability, that's just every time we get in charge, we deal 1 damage. And because we're playing an artifact-themed deck, and we're playing Arena Regular, and we are interested in lots of fixing, because we're playing a low shard base, we also are playing 8 infusion devices, 4 ruby, 4 blood. They'll gain us charges, so they'll deal damage that way. If War Machinist is in play, it'll also deal damage for being an artifact, and it'll help us activate our Warp Still widgets a lot faster. They also have really nice sacrifice effects if we aren't drawing anything else to play. So, let me see. Dread Botanist, it's going to make a Dreadling for us at the beginning of every turn. So that will trigger all of the artifact stuff, including Warp Steel widgets. And then Vilefang Eremites that will allow us to heal every time a Dreadling enters play, because the Dreadlings are spiders. So if we have one of our banners in play from Blood Spinner Zorath's Charge Power, which is a 5-cost charge power, but because we're playing so much charge generation, we can get it into play pretty quickly. So that will allow us to trigger healing off Vilefang, or if we have a Dread Botanist in play, that'll trigger healing from the Vilefang at the beginning of our turn. Or if we pop an Underworld Decree, that will trigger healing from our Vilefang Eremite. So there's lots of different ways to get some healing out of the deck. So without blabbering on too much, I guess I'm going to go back into finishing our run with this exact deck that I started with earlier today. So let's hop into the Frostring Arena. And almost a perfect run. I lost 1 game to Yurig because I was messing around with a real nice hand, actually. But we did get 1 loss there. And I think I'm going to be good going the rest of the way. We'll see. Alright. So we've got Everspire Witch. A pretty decent hand. We'll go ahead and keep our hand. It's subject to early removal from Everspire, which usually has a lot of burn. Okay, let's see what we get off Underworld Decree. I definitely want to use it for blood. We got a Izume Hired Hand. I think we're going to have to just say we're never going to play that since it's double. It's a very cool card, but I think I want to make sure I have the Vilefang Eremite resources early, because it is a 1/4. It'll more than likely stick in play, more so than the other troops we play. Alright. Oh darn, and then we draw the other shard we need for the double blood. I have to remember we do have a lot of fixing in the deck, so I don't generally have to go crazy. Playing Sealed Tome there could have been a good play too, because there's not a lot of troops in Everspire Witch's deck, And any troop I draw, I'll probably get to play, except for the Rampaging Tarrasque initially, because it just costs so much. I think what I do here actually is play double Ruby Infusion Device, and then pop a Ruby Infusion Device on the Dread Botanist to kind of hope it stays in play and doesn't get targeted by a cheap burn. And then this allows me to activate my charge power that will give me my banner. And hopefully we'll start to get 2 Dreadlings per turn. And I'm going to follow up with that Aramines. And we're not going to be able to heal, but it will allow us to deal damage. Okay, Kismet's Coin. Man, we got a second Underworld Decree, so we may have been able to play this Handmaiden had we gone for the Wild. We could have lived the dream there. I'm actually going to play more Ruby just in case we play the Sealed Tome and get a Rampaging Tarrasque. Okay. Double targeted. It's okay. Alright, we got our first Warp Steel widget. I guess we'll play it. And then we'll follow it with the Sealed Tome. And we'll follow it with an Underworld Decree for Wild. It's too bad we didn't get to keep the Vile thing in play, because that would have been lethal with double Underworld Decree. Oh, he got knocked down to 1. Maybe we should have attacked the botanist. Now he just killed himself. Whatever. Good old AI. Okay, so Uzume is our second tier, or third tier boss. Place. It's not a lot of resources. Let's go for 3. That'll work. We'll keep this hand. Let's go for the delayed play here. So we're not going to have any turn 1 play, but we'll have at least 1 decent turn 2 play. Up hero. Okay. Alright. So we'll do a Blood Infusion Device off of our widget. So 1 shard will allow us to get a charge power going. There we go. So that with Ruby Infusion Device will allow us to utilize our charge. And then we can also create another Warp Steel widget. We got a Patrol Bot. Uh-oh, Onikishin. That's a pretty good board state for Izume. Actually, a very good board state for Izume. I have a few different options here. One of my options is to utilize Sealed Tome here. Sealed Tome will give me a card draw. It'll also potentially give me a troop. It sounds like we have Baby Echo. I'm gonna attempt to Fusion Device my Patrol Bot here. to potentially have a relevant blocker for Hop Hero next turn without losing the blocker. Because the one thing that this deck does have some issues with is having blockers. Oh shoot. Well, not ideal, but we are going to block the Hop Hero. He does have Pump, so that did not work out for us. We're in a pretty tough spot. That's not going to help. We might end up losing this encounter. We'll try to draw a card, see what we get. Popping Aramite. It's actually not bad. I'm forced to block here. Oh, I lose. I lose. Okay, well, we'll try again. So, this is a major downside of the deck, as my daughter gets in trouble in the room. If you don't draw an early War Machinist to deal with some of the threats against a very aggressive deck, you will have a hard time coming out ahead. Because you don't really have a lot of troops in this particular deck to block with. And that could be a problem as the game goes late. So I don't know how well I'm going to do in this particular game either because of my hand. I only drew one shard. And yeah, see, I'm drawing the 2 drops. But I really need that second shard to start to make a difference. Second shard with the Dread Botanist will help quite a bit. But if Uzume starts to go off here, I don't have a lot of recourse to deal with the board state. Yeah, so this could be bad. We did get the second shard, but it's going to still delay us by a turn because it was a dual shard. So we'll go ahead and play that. We're going to have to take at least 4 damage next turn. And then hopefully play a Botanist and get that into play and start to go off with our Warp Steel widgets. But we are staring down a clock. Ooh, that's good too. But we're going to have to save that for next turn. So the Botanist will allow us to get Warp Steel widget triggers. And we need to make sure we keep him alive. I do really want to block the Hop Hero, but I really don't want to lose the Botanist. So, alright. I took a gamble there because he only had 2 cards in his hand. Okay. So if I play a War Machinist here, I can take out. What do we get? Got a Fate Rack and a Dread Launcher. That's actually really good. We pumped up his Eulogist to 4. I probably could have waited and to see where his Eulogist would go to block, and then killed the Eulogist. Hopefully that's not a mistake that's going to cost me the game. Alright, ooh, got a Disciple of Yazukon. Okay, so we're gonna attempt to kill the Eulogist first here. We got a resource, which is really good actually. Okay. Aramite could start us healing. What does this cost? 1. Okay, we kind of need to do that. Alright, So if we do 1, 2, 3, yeah, that seems like a good trade. So let's go in with the Dreadling first, and hopefully he just blocks the Eulogist. Okay, then we'll just create a throwaway Dreadling here, and we'll hit the Eulogist, and we will trigger our widgets. Okay. Fortunately, I just realized that we're pumping Nori up, so I might have to just chump block Nori. Especially if he goes in with both, we're going to have to block. Which he does, so we're going to lose a botanist. Which is better than losing. Not a good time for a phone call. Sorry. Okay, so now we can do the Vile Thing stuff here. So the great thing about Vile Thing right now is that we have the Dread Launcher in place, so we're going to immediately be able to heal for 1. We're also going to be able to take out this Ruinir Burrower. And then we're just getting a bunch of artifacts, which is awesome. Apparently, they really need to talk, so 1 second to go off my Alright, I'm back. That was a long phone call. A lot of stuff going on right now in the background. It's a little crazy making. Alright, so we're gonna do a blood infusion device that allows us to next turn play Wild Fang if we want to. Or the Botanist, which would probably just play the Botanist. We got a Doppel Gadget, which is great for this deck. So it's a great 3 cost to hit with the Warp Steel, because then we can just copy the Warp Steel and make more Warp Steels. So that's what we're going to do next turn. Unfortunately, we're going to take 2 damage here from the Mouse, or the Mazat Spearman. Oh my god. Our kids right now are like making us crazy. They're just trying to get into everything. So we're losing the fight. We're losing the war. What do we get? Looks like it's a rider. Yeah, I should say rider. Okay. So it doesn't really matter what color I choose. Because we're hitter fixing, I'll just choose Sapphire. Shit. Sounds like things are not going well out there. I hope I can finish this stream. I might have to break. It's getting to be a little crazy in this place. No, we do not want to activate that. Okay. Oh man. The joys of child rearing. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to have to take Mazat Spearman, hitting me for 6 next turn. But we are going to start to heal. And then I can throw the Shadowtail Rider and play as a chomp. Oh, he does have the spear equipment, so he would immediately die, but at least the chump would chump. If that makes any sense. Okay, we went down to 10. No, we would not like to activate that. We did heal. We got a second Underworld Decree. And we have 2 Warp Steel widgets ready to transform here. So let's transform 1. We got a Splucker Bonewalker. Oh, that's another reason why to pick different thresholds with your Underworld Decrees, because that is another 3-drop that you can easily get. Oh, we got a Shield Bot. So now we just gotta stay alive until we can actually utilize those. So let's just go in with these 2. Probably should have left the Vile Thing back, now that I think about it. Oh well. We have 3 blockers if we need them. I know how I want to block. Huh. Now I'm not forced to, which is kind of nice. Do I even have to block here? Yeah, might as well. Be safe. Okay. Continue to draw step. Alright, so let's do this. Let's do this. Sniper Tower. Play a shard. That'll give us our banner. And then we can play an Underworld Decree. What do we get? We got a Warlock over here. So that's pretty awesome. We almost have the win. He has 3 blockers. We can deal 3, 2, 3, 5. So he'll block the 3, 3, 5, and then he'll take 2, 3. Yeah, we got it. We can't block enough. a really good hand. It's a slight delayed start, but that's okay. At least we know we have two resources in our hand. So we can do a War Machinist on 2 or a Botanist. Botanist would probably be fine here. In fact, we'll just start with the Botanist. We got a 3rd resource. Really good. Okay. We'll start with the Botanist. We'll follow up with an Arena Regular into our Machinist. And then we should hopefully get to use our charge power on turn 4. That's my hope. I usually don't block that guy just because he gets bigger when we allow him to come out of the grave. Oh, double Arena Regular. So next turn we'll play the 2nd Arena Regular and the Blood Infusion Device. Maybe even get lucky and draw a 4th Shard. I wonder if I'm going to have to make any changes to this deck, because Sealed Tome is not feeling great. Now I'm forced to target this guy, unfortunately. Yes, we drew the shard. Exactly what we wanted. Okay, so shard, plan. We're gonna get our charge power. What in the world? Alright. Alright, as long as we survive this turn, we've got the win. And going. Well, I guess we need to play a shard first. Okay. So we're unfortunately having a hard time with the bosses. But the other encounters are going well, so we're not going to really lose out on any gold for completion here. Man, no shard love, but this does have an Acorn, so there is potential there. We're gonna play a War Machinist, but we'll hold the Acorn for turn 2, just in case he plays like Kindling Scarn or something on turn 1. Not with Sapphire. Okay, we drew a shard, so that makes me think it's fine to hold the Acorn again. We'll go ahead and attack. Okay, we'll play the Botanist, and we will play the Acorn. Maybe get a shard here, if we're lucky. Nope, but we did get a Blood Infusion Device, so that will allow us to have the threshold we need for Vile Thing, and also have an additional charge for a charge power and threshold for it. So we can get 1 here. We can actually kill off the Salt Harpy with our infusion devices. That was another Acorn. We will utilize that. And the Sealed Tome. Okay, so we can go for the Sealed Tome. Let's attack with everything and see if he blocks. He does not. So I think we'll go with the Sealed Tome here. No! Took out our damage. Alright, so we did get a shard. But it's one turn from our charge power. And we are really close to lethal as well. It'll be 2 off lethal. So next turn, if our arena regular stays in play, we auto win. Looks like. Oh! Okay, we're good. We got this. So the charge power alone will kill him, or we can play Blood Fusion Place to kill him. And Elebrand Scouts are last non-boss encounter. Pretty good hand. You have a double War Machinist and Warp Steel widget, which I like a lot. Actually, can go for Blood there, since we drew a top deck Ruby. Okay, so we hit 3 resources. Definitely playing a body this next turn. Oh no! I was worried about that. That's a bummer. So the scary thing here is his charge power. If he decides to use it next turn, he could take out pretty much our entire board. Or maybe he doesn't have a shard. Whew, we got a little lucky there. An Underworld Decree, let's see what we get before we play a shard. Oh, that's the target. What did we get? We got a Hatchery Priest, or Cultivator. So I immediately snap picked the Sapphire. So it's not a bad thing. It's for eggs, so I guess it doesn't really help our deck, but the nice thing about it is it does have 4 health, so it might survive the charge power. And it'll take 4 again. Alright, so our Warp Steel Widget got to 3. Second War Machinist. Let's pop our Warp Steel Widget. Kill the Cluckadon. That turn full too, pretty awesome. We'll get our banner. We'll make some Dreadlings. And we'll end the game. King Gabriel is our last encounter. This is a pretty good hand. I wish I had a War Machinist, but we can work with it. Double widget. I will settle for double widget over a War Machinist any day. That's fine by me. That's a little scary. Alright, so we're going to do double widget into... How do we Biofang here on my next turn? I can't do anything. Alright, so we'll do Aramite, and then we'll do the devices the following turn, and we'll be able to get 2 artifacts. The attacks of both will block the queen. Good, we'll get a kill. He doesn't even have a follow-up. Wow, okay, this is interesting. So let's play the Acorn first. See what we get. Got the Shard. I'm going to play the Underworld Decree next. See what we get. Can't see. Did we get a Underworld Recruiter? Huh, we did. Okay. And we're playing King Gabriel, so we'll take Sapphire. And we'll play the Underworld Recruiter. Why not? Pretty awesome. And let's make some artifacts. Command Tower. And Augmentation Bots. User Charge Power. I'm liking this. It's looking good. Oh, forgot. That was just a useless attack. Very pointless. Alright. This is where it gets really fun. You get to create an artifact pretty much every turn. We can actually create even more now. Oh wow. Alright. Some big comboing is going to happen right here. Because we're going to pop our Underworld Decree. That just healed us for quite a bit. Now we can activate for more artifacts. Just got a Servo Servant, and a War Drums, and a Bruiser. I think this is where I just go in with everything I can, except for, well, I guess we can go into the Underworld Recruiter too. If he chooses to trigger that, then it's good for us. And we might actually be on track to win next turn. Okay, so it goes down to 10 before we draw. The Blood Infusion Device. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and play the Blood Infusion Device. That will trigger another 2 artifact procs. Okay, we got a launcher. And a Relic of Nolzon. Underworld Troops get lethal. Wow. All good stuff. Even pump this up to see if it... No, I guess you can't pump those up actually. Go ahead and play the Shard, and we can... I think we can win here off of double Infusion Device activations. That's 6. That's 4. Yep, that's it. That's the run. that was a pretty good show of how the deck functions there at that last encounter. But it probably could use a little bit of refinement. I'm sure there's some tweaks we can make to have the consistency improved. Alright, I guess we'll roll a few uncommons to end it out. Nice, double gold. Infinity engine. Triple. Liking the skulls today. Skull source for 5,000 gold and a promo Stardust. It's an awesome roll. And that boots for an eye and one shot. Free spin, not bad. Another free spin. Okay. Triple crowns. Fog blocker here. Enough creature rare. See what we get. Forbidden Mask. Not quite what I was looking for. I know what I'm looking for, I'm just not getting it. Triple skull. Well, that means I have to stash this last one and see if I can get it another time. Those uncommon chests are not cheap to spin. Well, let me go back to the deck really quick to quickly look at it again. I'm not really sold on the sealed tomes. I might have to cut that from the list. It was a last minute tech edition, but it doesn't feel like it's the right fit. I think a charge bot might be better. A charge bot also has gloves equipment that has 1 defense. I kind of want a troop that I can throw away, but that also gives me a benefit. Charge bot might be that card that I need. Maybe I just need more shards. That's the other option. Just put a few more shards in the deck, and maybe a few things that draw me cards, like maybe a few hunting cries. That might be the way to go. But anyways, this is the list I've been running, and yeah, try it out. It's pretty fun. I think it's a pretty good deck too. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.